This song is dedicated to Granny, Dad, Mother Junior and Jamelia, and all those who have passed on before us. Rest in peace until we meet again. Okay. Hi everyone. I wasn't planning on doing this today, but a good friend of mine by the name of Joshua Stroud just contacted me and made me aware that his brother Ethan was shot and killed. And he's in shock and his family is in shock. And they asked me if I could share with them what happens when somebody dies. So I'm going to attempt to break this down in a simple way as possible based on the knowledge that I've been given from the Urantia book. So, you know, some people may not agree with what I'm going to say right now, and for some it may be a revelation, but I'm going to share what I believe and what I know so far. And I'm going to break it down in a simple way. So if anybody needs me to get deeper than I'm going to get right now, please send me a message, and you know, maybe I'll answer you by text or do a follow-up video which goes into more depth. But for right now I'm going to just do a simple breakdown which hopefully will help the masses, and especially people who've lost a loved one, to get an understanding of what really happens, and what happens to all of us eventually. So let me put this pen down. So here goes. Actually I'm in my outdoor living room right now, and it's a bit windy and there may be a couple planes flying overhead, but I'm going to still go, you know, try my best to go through with this and give you a breakdown. So here we go. So I want to start with, which obviously we all know is the first thing, which is, and I'll put a smiley face, which is a personality or a person. I think the first thing we need to understand, which a lot of people already understand, but I'm going to discuss it anyway, is, you know, what is a person? You know, what makes up a personality? And we already know on the simplest term that a personality is made up of a body, okay? But we know that when somebody dies, they are no longer recognized as being a part of the body. So people call it different things, but I'm going to use the word soul. Okay? So you have a personality, the person passes away and is no longer recognized as one entity, but becomes divided as a soul and a body. We then know that the body is buried in the earth, and that we say goodbye to the body, but we look forward to the future. And most people say when somebody's died, oh, they've gone to a better place. Some people will say they've gone to heaven, and some people say, I have no clue where they've gone. Let me clear up one of the fallacies about heaven. Most religionists will tell you that you can't go to heaven unless you're perfect. And we're told that only the pure in heart can see the face of God. So the question is, if only perfect, righteous, and the pure in heart can go to heaven and see the face of God, what happens to 99.99999% of the population who die imperfectly, and some very far from righteous. And that's what I want to share with everybody today, is that what happens is that when the body dies, the soul is what is left. Some people think that souls just wander around, but what actually happens next is that a being, a spiritual being called a seraphim, when a person dies, a seraphim comes down and seraphims embraces that person, takes them under their wings, if you want to say that, but even though angels don't have wings, a seraphim, and seraphim's a human being, which basically means takes them within themselves. Okay? And this applies to adults and babies who have been born, who have taken their first breath. And these seraphims then become responsible for the soul, for the person who's passed away. Alright, so the seraphim takes the souls of people to a place called the mansion worlds. Some of you may remember that Jesus said, "In my Father's house there are many mansions." And the beautiful thing is that God has a plan for us, that we can be educated and trained to become perfect and righteous and pure in heart, so that we can enter into his home, which is called heaven or paradise. And when you die, you don't wake up as some enlightened spiritual being. You wake up exactly as you were when you died. So if you were far from spiritual, then you're going to get trained when you wake up in the next place. The next place, I'm going to just do a quick description, is called the mansion worlds. Mansion worlds is composed of 7 different training worlds, and the first world here, which is called mansion world number 1, is also known as the resurrection sphere, where everyone, whether you're a Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, atheist, Rastaman, whatever you are, we all get woken up here, which is going to be a fun experience when everyone's looking at each other going, "What the hell are you doing here?" Anyway, we all get woken up here. They also have a place here called the probationary nurseries, where all the children who took their first breath and died are taken to. And parents who wake up on this world will be told that your child who died before they turned 16 is in a place called the probationary nursery, and they are asleep. And you can now come and wake up your child. And you will be able to choose whether you raise your child for a 16-year period in the next world, on the mansion worlds, or if you've already raised children, you will be able, if you want, you can allow somebody else to raise your child, someone who didn't have the experience of raising children during their lifetime on planet Earth or other planets around the universe. You can give that person a chance to raise your child, but you will also still be able to go and visit your child, and your child will know that you are the earth parent of your child. When we wake up on mansion world number 1, we will be given a new body called a Moransha body, which is kind of like translucent. A physical human body, material body, we know is solid. The next body we get is kind of translucent, so you can almost see through it, and you can see how developed somebody is. So people who can hide who they are now behind their clothes and their religious robes won't be able to hide who they are in the next life. You'll be able to see straight through them, literally. And then as we grow spiritually, we become less and less translucent and more transparent, as we know spirits are invisible and transparent. So when you wake up there, you have 10 days to go and visit the people who died before you and the people who died after you, because if you weren't highly spiritually evolved, you may have to wait for a resurrection, which I believe is every 1,000 years. So somebody may die before you, but if you die within that 1,000-year period, you'll get woken up at the same time as them, and you'll have your memory, they'll have their memory, and most of your positive memories anyway, all of your positive memories you'll have, and you'll remember each other, and you'll be able to reminisce about the life you lived on this planet, and you'll have a huge family reunion. Can you imagine having a family reunion after you've died? Seeing your grandparents, your great-grandparents, your grandchildren who you died before, you know, everybody coming together, your friends, you know, me, I'll be there, so you'll be able to come and say, "What's up, Pato?" So can you imagine that in the next life? You know, death will be like such a joke, such an illusion, that it, you know, we'll be able to laugh about it. But in our earth state right now, death is a sad occasion for most people, but it shouldn't be. It should be something that we celebrate, their graduation of life, their graduation to the next life. You know, it's not the end, you know, it's actually the beginning of an eternal journey if we choose it. I could go on, but I'm going to stop right there and say that the only thing that's guaranteed when we're born in this world is that we eventually have to leave. Some people die peacefully in their sleep, some die naturally, some die of sicknesses, some die violently, which is the saddest type of death, I believe, on this planet, when someone is killed by somebody else. But even in those situations, there is hope. And I want to encourage everyone that has lost somebody that they love to stay positive, embrace the reality of death, but celebrate their life. Cherish all of those moments that meant something to you specially. And just pray, you know, that their seraphim has taken them safely, and look forward to a time in the mansion worlds when you will be able to embrace them and hug them again. And you'll be in a new body, they'll be in a new body, you know, whichever body was at the peak of your physical life, you'll get a similar body at the peak of your next life. So if you died when you was old, you won't be old when you wake up. You'll have a brand new, youthful, physical body. And look forward to that moment when we can embrace each other again. You know, my time on this planet is limited too, you know, but I'm not worried about when I need to leave. I'm almost really looking forward to that day when I can wake up on a new planet and know that I don't have to die anymore. I don't have to feel pain anymore. I don't have to struggle to pay the bills anymore. You know, I don't have to deal with the worry of war and racism and injustice anymore. But, you know, I'll be in a better world where I can actually see celestial beings and talk to them and be able to ask them questions with other people of different religions, so that we can all become one with one belief that is based on facts and not ideologies or philosophies. So anyway, my name is Pato Banton. This is my opinion based on revelation, and I'm glad I could share it to you in the simplest way. I could have gone deeper, but I don't think this is the right time. Maybe I'll do a deeper one later, but that's it for now. Peace. earth, Lord. The only guarantee is that we all have to leave. Eventually some will pass, some will just fuse. Many will survive, some will choose to refuse. But I know there's a place for each and every one, 'cause in my Father's house there are so many mansions.
It's a better place.
One step closer to perfection, in the mansion halls of resurrection.
It's a better place.
Can you imagine the occasion? What a beautiful family reunion.
It's a better place.
And we don't lose our memory, so I'll remember you and you'll remember me. Oh, what a happy day it will be when we meet on the other side. When you lose somebody, when you lose someone, when you lose somebody you love, remember they gone to a better place, a better place, a better, better place. They gone to a better place, a better place, a better, better place.
It's a better place.
Oh, what a happy day it will be.
It's a better place.
Oh, what a happy day it will be.
It's a better place.
Oh, what a happy day it will be.
It's a better place.
Oh, what a happy day it will be when we meet on the other side.